is Melinda Roy. Welcome to day 3 of Virtual Summit 2026. So, how are you doing today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing so great. I'm so excited to see all the speakers, all the beautiful women on this wonderful platform sharing their inspirational and motivational presentations. And we have successfully completed our 2 days event, virtual event. So successfully we are running this third day. So hope this is also going to be. So today also we'll be rocking. And so, welcome on stage, Rainy Lee. So,
Thank you.
before you start your presentation, I would like to introduce you to the audience, who you are and your accomplishments. Yes,
Okay.
let's do. So, welcome on stage, Rainy Lee. She is the CEO and Chief Brand Strategist of the ABO firm, a leadership development consultancy helping organizations and executives align mission, message, and momentum. A dynamic speaker and leadership coach, she is the creator of the Connect Coach framework and a sought after facilitator for corporations and non-profits alike. With a background spanning marketing, organizational strategy, nonprofit management, and leadership development, Rainey equips leaders to communicate with confidence, cultivate capacity, and create cultures of belonging. So she is from United States of America. So yes, Rainey, the stage is all yours. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, hello, everyone, beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. Well, it's morning here in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm so grateful to be with you and be a part of this opportunity to speak to so many people across the world. What a powerful time we live in that we can literally, literally speak to each other across the globe. I was talking to a Gen Z on yesterday, and they grew up in this era. And some of us, my age, I'm a Gen X, we kind of glided into it. And so, but it's just so amazing to see how times have changed and advanced in technology. And so I'm so grateful to be here. So today, I am going to talk to you, speak with you rather, around the power of presence. That's right. You can put it in the chat, the power of presence, or you can say it out loud, the power of presence. There is so much power when we show up in a hello, Charlotte Brown. There's so much power when we show up with confidence, with knowing really who we are as leaders, right? And so I really want to talk to you something about what power presence is that you may not think right away. Because sometimes when we think about power, we think about all these um, Wonder Woman, Superman, Spider Man, Batman powers, all those good things, right? What is it? Marvel. What's the? I think her name is not Captain America, but anyway, the Universe Girl, right? So listen, we're not talking about that kind of power, even though that's real cool. Hey there, is it Colette? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so let me jump right into this. Okay, so one of the quotes that I really really love is "You must do the thing you think you cannot do" by Eleanor Roosevelt. And to me, that is like so important. It's like that is a part of leadership, or when you make the decision to be the type of leader that you want to be, right? There's this blanket thing of what leadership really is. There's like this blanket definition that you're the boss, you're in control, you're in power. But what I come from, and I'm working writing my book now that will be released in the summer. It's called Leadership at Every Level, and it comes from this model that I'm going to introduce to you really soon. So let's talk about the leadership reality. Okay. So the leadership reality. Remember talking about Wonder Woman and all those good people, those our favorite comics and characters. So the leadership reality is that there's high responsibility. You got to take care of everybody else. You got to take care of everybody else, right? That's like the big thing. You're responsible for it. You're responsible for it all. If it succeeds, you're responsible. If it fails, you're responsible, right? If it's mediocre, you're responsible. The thing falls in your lap, and that carries so much weight, right? and maybe it's unnecessary to feel that way. Yeah, I want to change the norm of what leadership really is, right? And so here's the second thing: the leadership reality is about high visibility. Like I always got to be seen, or I always have to be the one, right? You always have to be the one. Well, I can give you a quick story here. I was vice president of a workforce development program, and I had maybe 5 to 6 directors, if I recall correctly, and they had their own teams, right? And so I wanted to do something very special for the team because I just felt like they'd done such a great job. You know, money is not the only reward; recognition is, right? And so we had this really big awards luncheon for them, and I allowed every director, or I encouraged them. I was like, I would like for you to present your team members with their trophies. And I remember the president of the organization coming to me after that event, and he said, "I love the way you didn't have to be the one doing that, that you actually gave space for your directors to present to their team member. Because we're one big team, right? But you have how you have departments, so you have directors or whatever, and then you have them, the frontline people and mid-level people. And so and he said he really appreciated that because most times, you know, the leader wants to stand out, like but it's not about just you, right? And so that's the approach that I take in leadership, and then it has served me well. And so the other piece of leadership reality is there's high expectation. Like, girl, you can't fail. Like you got to get it right all the time. Come on now. How real is that? Like, how many of you feel like, I got to get it right all the time? No, 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 no. I can't do that. I can't put that pressure on me to get it right all the time. But there is, that's the reality. That is the reality. I have coached people, I have worked with people who feel like they cannot, they don't have the space to be human or to make an error. So there's high responsibility, there's high visibility, and there's high expectation. All right, so here's the question. This is an important question to you, my sister, and my brother, if you're watching. The question is, who cares for the leader? Who is taking care of the leader? Because if you're in an organization, or however your setup is, if you're CEO, then that's one thing. You got to take care of yourself, and you got to make sure your team takes care of you. You got to make sure the board takes care of you. You're leading an organization, and you got to take care of you, right? And so here's where we're going with this. So presence of power. It's not about performance, and it's not about appearance. Presence is greater than performance. And what do I mean by presence? How you show up, how you show up. And then appearance. How are you, that's one thing, but are you staying in alignment? Are you staying true to your own ethics, your own convictions, right? And we have policy and procedures that we go by in our jobs or in our careers. But are you also staying in alignment with that? And are you making space to stay in alignment with your own conviction, right? Because that really matters. Because guess what? You have to live with you. And there will be opportunities, or not opportunities, but there will be times rather when you may be challenged. I've been challenged on that level. And in a boardroom, I had to say, that goes against my personal ethics. And I just cannot say I agree with that. So sometimes your presence is saying no, because I'm going to stay in alignment. I'm not going to appear to go along with something that in my heart, in my spirit, in my soul, child, that is not lining up with my ethics and my own personal convictions. So here's the framework. So let me give you a little backstory, okay? And I promise I'm gonna stay within my time. So here's a little backstory. There is a book called, and I encourage every, and when I say every leader, I encourage every leader to read this book. There's so many. I love Simon Sinek. I love so many leadership authors, John Maxwell. But This book, I don't really remember how I came across it on this, but it's honestly, but it's called Radical Loving Care. It's called Radical Loving Care, and it's by Erie Chapman, Erie Chapman, Chapman. And in this book, he was when he wrote this book, I believe he was still the president of the Baptist hospital systems in Nashville, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, he wrote this book called Radical Love and Care. This changed everything for me. I've always been a person who likes to lead as a servant, servant leadership, because my background is I was raised in church, and I came from my parents were entrepreneurs, had other jobs too, but they were entrepreneurs in our community, and I saw them lead in that way, serving people in our community through their business. So I believe in servant leadership because that's what my parents taught me, and that's what they modeled before me. And so when I got this book, it was like, so Radical Love and Care talks about this sacred encounter that happens when a need is met with love, that there's a sacred encounter that happens. That just blew me away. It blew me away. And I was like, this is how I want to run my life. And this is how I want to run every business or every department that I'm privileged and blessed to run and or to manage or to lead rather, right? With vision. I gotta care. I gotta have these sacred encounter moments. And so this is how I created this framework called Care, Connect, and Coach. And so we're going to talk about all three of those. I'm just going to give you a real big highlight of each one. Okay. All right. All right, so care. And be sure to put your questions in the comments section, or if you have a comment, feel free to put it there. So, care is this is where I say leadership begins within. I believe you have to care for yourself first before you can care for someone else. We all probably have had an opportunity. I won't just say we all, but the majority of us probably have sat on an airplane and had the stewardess or the flight attendants rather tell us what to do with the mask. What are we supposed to do first? Right? We're supposed to put it on ourselves first. Okay, I see that question. I'm going to definitely come back to that. Um, we definitely have to put it on ourselves first. We got to save ourselves first so we can save somebody else. So right. And as a parent, I gotta make sure I gotta make sure I put my mask on, and so that then I can put theirs on for them. I gotta be able to help the one who needs the help, but I gotta do it first. I gotta take care of me first, right? And so care means self-awareness. You gotta know who you are. And you cannot allow anyone to tell you different. You have to stand in your truth, stand in who you know you are. Be self-aware. Be certain about what you're be clear on who you are and what if you know your job. This is the thing I believe, that we all have the opportunity and the ability to learn new things, to learn a skill set, to up level our skill sets, to upgrade our lives, right? So we can upgrade, we can up level, we can learn more, we can upskill. And so know what you need to know. This is what I always tell my directors or people that and just people on my team. Know what you need to know and be aware of what you know and own it. Right. There was a time in my life I didn't own the accomplishments that I made. I didn't own it because I thought I was being humble. But the truth of the matter, I needed to own it, because if I didn't own it, that means I also didn't own my voice. I remember being in rooms sometimes where there were women that I admired, even though I had this high level position, but they had been in the game longer than I had. So I admired them so, but I didn't think my voice carried the same weight because I hadn't been in the game as long, right? But you have to own and be self aware of who you are and what you know. And it's not arrogance, it's just confidence, right? So let's not get too confused. Okay, so the next thing about care is capacity management. Manage your capacity. Again, upskill when you need to. Never be afraid. I believe in learning every single day. I'm a learning leader. I have a program called the Learning Leader. right? I have a program called through our business, which is a family. ABR firm is a family-owned business, and we are the premier leadership development and brand management firm rooted in Memphis, Tennessee, with a global reach. Just had to throw that in there. Um, but one of our models is the four critical questions of capacity that my brother Matt teaches on. And it's so powerful. That teaching also is one of the things that changed my life and changed my leadership. So you have to manage your capacity. Know when it's time to expand it. Know when it's time to grow it, right? And know how um, to be able to see it in other people too, to see their potential, to see their capacity, help them realize their capacity. And then there's boundaries. Oh my goodness. We could talk about boundaries all day, right? We need to set reasonable boundaries. No is not a bad word, it's a strong word. It's not a bad word, it's a strong word. And sometimes it's a necessary word, right? Yes, it's a powerful word, it's a strong word. And sometimes it's necessary that you say yes. It's required sometimes, and sometimes the no is required. And you just need to be strong enough to know the difference, when to do which, right? And then there's emotional discipline. In the previous conversation with the doctor, I can't remember her first name, Kalisha. Please forgive me if I'm calling your name wrong, but she was talking about emotional intelligence, emotional discipline, and she was talking about moving from the feminine to the masculine, and how sometimes we operate as women, in particularly speaking to all my sisters out there, we can move in this really way, like we just get, there's nothing wrong with going and get it. I believe you should go get it, right? But I also believe that there has to be balance, and you have to use wisdom and balancing that, and having the emotional discipline to not fly off the handle, to keep you cool, as my dad would always say, keep you cool. Keep you cool. You can say what you need to say, but while you keep you cool and do it. And the truth of the matter is that's one of the biblical things that my parents taught us too, is that a soft answer is in the Bible, that the a soft answer turns away wrath, right? And so when we learn how to really be disciplined and really understand how we should move, how we should answer, not being so quick to respond, but being thoughtful about what we have to say so that it's said right. And you can step back. It's okay to step back and say, I can't talk about this right now, right? Care for yourself. Okay, so that's what care means. All right, so here's a reflection question for you. Where am I leading from depletion? Right? Where am I leading from depletion? Which of those areas am I depleted in that I need to really pay attention to? Okay, let me move on because I want to make sure I stay within my time frame. Okay, so the next piece of my framework is connect. Leadership moves at the speed of trust. You can put that in the chat. Leadership moves at the speed of trust. So whether you're watching this on a replay on YouTube or you're watching this live, you can put that in the chat. Say connect means to move at the speed of trust. That's when my leadership people can understand they trust me. Now, I didn't put this in the slide, but my definition of trust is not like, girl, I trust you with everything, with all my secrets. That is not the trust we're talking about. That is not the trust we're talking about. We're talking about competence. Trust equals competence plus reliability. I can depend on you. I know you listen, when I hire you, if I've interviewed you, that means that you show me that you're competent, and you show me that you can be reliable because you've given me examples during your interview times, those 3 times that we've interviewed. Right? And so that's trust. Don't make it something personal. Trust means that you're competent, and that you're reliable. Now you can come up with your own definition. That was my definition of it after I read, because I read a lot of books. I love self-help books. I love leadership books. And so I came up with, like, okay, this is what trust is for me. And I remember sharing it with a team that I was on a couple of times, well, multiple teams, but and they was like, the director's like, I like that. Yeah. Because then it removes that other stuff. Because it removes those stuff. That way we can stay focused on our mission, on our product, on our impact, right? Because you want to make sure that you're making the right impact. Okay, so here we go. Connection requires listening, empathy, clear communication, and psychological safety. Now, you probably understand all those things, but I just want to touch right here on psychological safety. That means I create a space. If I'm going to build trust, I am creating a space where folks can feel. I'm from the South, so folks, folks can feel safe in this working environment, in this workspace. Whoever I'm working with, if I'm working with a network of coaches and consultants that we work with in our firm, then they need to feel safe. They need to feel heard, right? In our own business, but if in my previous community or jobs and positions and careers and teams, it's like I gotta create this space of safety so that their ideas are heard, their voice is heard. People need to feel heard. People appreciate so much when they feel like they're adding value. And when they're not, when you're giving them positive feedback, and you have to feel safe, even you have to feel the self awareness I talked about and caring. You have to bring that over into those things that you do to care for yourself. You do have to do those for others too. So, again, this is just high level. Um, of what I'm sharing around that framework. The psychological safety to me is so important. Clear communication, give the feedback and allow the feedback to come to you. I'm one of those leaders. I had my team evaluate me. And I remember the president telling me one day, he's like, I don't know if I'm strong enough to do that. Well, I was, because my first mentor, who was the president of a community foundation here locally in Memphis, he taught me so much. I call him my father in nonprofit. And he taught me so much because he did that. And I loved how he utilized that feedback, some good, some not so great, and some not so good. But he used that to not define him, but to refine him. And so I believe that we can take those comments, those evaluations, that feedback, and evaluate our own self. Because I want to trust that I'm doing the best. I want to trust myself. And so I need my team to feel safe in saying, it can be anonymous, of course, but saying what they need to say so that when I give feedback, they know I'm coming from a place of good intention, right? I'm coming from a place of good intention because I want us all to win and I want us to win together. I was working with a client, an organization or a department at an organization, and I was like, you know, there was so much separation because there were old heads and new heads, is what they called each other. And so what we left with was we work together so we can win together. If we're divided and we have all these silos going on in one department, it's never going to work. We're never going to make the impact we really want to make. Can we put what's the most important thing, make that the most important thing, and keep it the most important thing? So make sure you create space for psychological safety. Create safe environments where people can actually, team members, anybody you work with, in your coaching or whatever you do, make sure you create that safe environment for them. Okay, so here's your reflection question. Who on my team feels unseen? Or who am I working with that may feel unseen? Who in this cohort is feeling unseen, right? And sometimes you have to do um, some more intentional work with those individuals to help bring them up to where they need to be. Again, I believe as leaders, we help pull out that capacity. We help develop that capacity, grow that capacity so that people can be their full selves and perform at their highest level. And they're glad to do it. They're not stressed to do it. They're not pulled to do it. They gladly do it. All right. The final piece of that framework is coach. So we got care, we got connect, now we got coach. People build, I'm sorry, build people, multiply impact. That's what coaching is all about. Building people so that you can multiply, so they can multiply their impact. Build people, multiply their impact. Can you put that in the comments? Build people, multiply impact. When you do that, so much good happens. So coaching looks like asking and not telling. It looks like ownership, not dependency. Nobody should depend on the coach. LeBron James doesn't depend on his coach. He doesn't. I mean, in terms, his coach is not going out there, go out there, and I'm not a basketball player, so I probably shouldn't even use that analogy, child. But anyway, he's not gonna. He doesn't expect his coach to go out there and play. right? He has to take ownership of the team too, ownership of his role on the team, right? So feedback, coaching looks like feedback for growth, and it looks like succession thinking, especially if you're running a company, especially if you know that you're going to retire and or you're in this larger company and you can help elevate someone else. You can mentor them. I had the opportunity to do that when I was leaving a program or an organization, and I recommended this one person. I was like, okay, I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to mentor her as much as I can to make sure that she's well prepared for this interview and well suited to carry out this job. And so very, very grateful that she's still doing this. And it's been probably 7 years now. And she's a regional director, and she's blowing and just blowing and growing, just exploding in her work. And I'm so proud of her. So always think of how you can help someone else. Dr. Martin Luther King, I know he said this in one of his speeches, that if I can just help somebody, it is a song, if I can just help somebody along my way, then my living won't be in vain, right? And so I so believe that we don't want our living to be in vain. We have this one beautiful life that we've been blessed with, and we should do the most we can. We should do the most we can with so much intention, do the best we can, the most we can to help someone else and serve someone else. So, reflection question for coaches is for the coaching piece of the framework is, who am I developing? Who am I paying it forward to? Who am I him? Who else am I supporting? So, the power of presence: care sustains you, connect builds trust, and coaching multiplies capacity. So, and my final piece, you should lead. The power of presence is about leading from presence, lead with intention, and lead in alignment. Lead from presence, lead with intention. Your intention matters. Your motive matters. You can put that in the chat. You can put it in the comment, whether you're watching the replay or whatever. Just put in. Listen, you have to have the right motive. Lead with intention. Know what you're expecting, right? Okay, and then lead in alignment. So I do have an invitation for you, um, and I believe this is okay to do. I actually have a cohort of women that I work with called Women in Position, the Collective. My next cohort starts March 22nd, and you can scan that QR code to learn more about it. It's called the Collective on purpose because it is exclusive. Everybody's not maybe not be a good fit for it, but you can go there. You can see the enrollment form, click the link for the enrollment form, learn all about it. It's a great opportunity. There's so much power in community. There's so much power when we get together and say, listen, we're going to live on purpose on purpose. We're going to live in purpose on purpose. We're going to live the greatest life we can and love as much as we can. And so this is a very supportive community where women grow. We actually grow together. And brothers, I don't have anything for you in case brothers are watching. Men, if you're watching, I don't have anything for you today. But women, this is for women in position, the collective. I'm the founder of Women in Position. This is for high level women who want to continue their growth process and just continue to do good in the world. And that's what I believe this global summit is all about. It's about doing good in the world. How can we support one another? How can we make this world a better place? You know, y'all know that song, "Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand." Well, across this globe, across this or even during this summit and this opportunity that we have to connect with one another, I believe that the intention is that we support one another, that we have the heart to really make this world better, right? Leaving our mark on it, leaving a legacy, and making the world better. So thank you so much. It's been such a joy to be with you and to share in this time. You can reach out to me at Renee at abrfirmmemphis.com. You can visit our website at abrfirmmemphis.com. You can meet our core team is a family. Like I said, we're a family business, but we have an extended network of coaches and consultants that work with us. And I would love for you to learn more about us. And if you are interested in the Women in Position, the Collective. It starts March 22nd, so you can definitely go there. My book will be out in the summer, late summer of this year, Leadership at Every Level. and it is around centered around my care, connect, and coach model. Thank you so much. So grateful to have been here with you all.
Thank you so much for the wonderful speech for the Day to Virtual Summit, Rainy Lee,
Thank
and
you.
telling about the power of presence, how care, connect, and coach. You really explained well. And so, yes, you have a lot of questions from the audience, but I would like to pick only one due to.
Okay.
So, so here is the question from our audience, from Jennifer Crow. How does caring leadership influence team culture?
How does caring
Leadership
uh,
influence team culture.
influence team culture? Oh, in every way, honestly. What I find is that when people, you may know that quote from Maya Angelou that says people, well, the end of it just says that people always remember how you made them feel. And for some reason, I think we all want to be cared for, right? And you can bring that into a lot of times we feel like we have to separate who we are as just good, genuine people from who we are when we go into the workplace, right? Well, the truth of the matter is you don't have to separate that. Bring your whole self, bring all that good into your space. I have worked with teams who I remember being asked to well, I interviewed for a position and I was asked to do so because they like that this team is broken and we need help. And I came in and the women that were on the team, because it was all women, and were they were very strong personalities. And so what I did, my approach was let me learn and listen first. I believe listening is such an important part. It wasn't on the slide, but it is an important part of leadership and how you care for people. If I care about you, I'm going to listen to you. And so I didn't come in with answers. I came in to listen with open ears, with an open heart. And this is not like I'm very firm in my leadership too. You can still be very firm, but there is something about people know when you care. They just know when you care. And it influences how they in return respond, how they you can see them evolve into who they really are, their natural selves, and how they can care because people think they have to come in hard sometimes. I've worked with people or heard people or been in circles where people have conversations. People always talk about their jobs. A lot of times when you're going out to eat with your girlfriends or whatever, and they talk about, my boss did this or this, and this supervisor did this, and I can't believe, they're just hard, hard, hard. And again, as Dr. Kalisha has said, I believe, it's about the masculine piece. And, there's nothing wrong with being feminine. There's nothing wrong. That doesn't say that I'm a nurturer. Some of us aren't, and that's okay, but that's just part of who I am. But I believe that I can support people better when I listen to them and understand them. And I can tell you, I can't explain every little step because it's a process I walk through. I guess if I go through it and walk through it and review it, but I will tell you that it influences your team in so many ways, so many positive ways. Great question. Thank you.
So much for the wonderful answer. So thank you so much for sharing your great presentation with the Global Virtual Summit 2026. So please do join our sessions as well, and please do encourage other speakers with your valuable messages and questions. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Have a great day. Please do join our next speaker, Monica Hill. She is already waiting in the backstage. So thank you. Have a great day. Bye.